My presentation is about the edition's influence on the results of computer-based authorship attribution of 19th century Hungarian novels. Despite the fact that stylometric and computer-based authorship analysis are becoming more and more widespread, and that the last 2 decades have witnessed intensive technical and methodological changes in this field, they are still not widely used on Hungarian texts. So further studies are needed to determine which methods and distance measures and stylometric tools would be most accurate for Hungarian language. And for example, it's also unclear how the linguistic condition of the text under study influences the results of the research. So in my research, therefore, I was trying to establish whether there is any difference in the relationship attribution of older editions of the same text and the grammatically normalized, orthographically consolidated versions of more recent editions. In my research, I plan to create 2 corpora containing the same 19th century Hungarian novels, with the difference that one corpus contains the more recent editions of the novels, while the other contains older editions, which do not have uniform orthography. But the problem was that it required sufficient number of novels, both newer and older editions, of which were available in a format that could be used for research. But I wasn't able to collect a sufficient number of available texts from the older editions, so the corpus had to be compiled in a different way. So here you can see the 2 subcorpora. For this purpose, I had at my disposal some 19th century short stories that were available in PDF format and had already been processed by an optical character recognition tool in an earlier research. These PDF formats that had been converted into text files contained a large number of errors, mainly because some of the printed text was either too faint or blotchy. Maybe you can see it in the picture on the left one, that it's quite faint, and the other one contains these dark parts, which make it hard to the program to recognize the letters. So these errors all had to be corrected manually. So optical character recognition was followed by a manual check, during which these errors were corrected. And given that these texts were from old editions, they formed one of the corpus of the research, so the corpus containing the old texts with non-uniform orthography. And as you can see, so on the left you can see the PDF format of the texts, and then on the right you can see the text format after OCR. And there was quite a lot of mistake. For example, maybe I just stressed 2 words that some letters were changed, and these all had been corrected. Yeah, and that was the first corpora, and the second corpus of these texts was prepared by normalizing all words that were written according to the old non-uniform orthography, so that the texts of the second corpus contained only words and phrases that correspond to the standard Hungarian spelling of today. So probably you can see in the quote I marked the words with yellow color that I corrected so that it would be a text correspond to the standard Hungarian spelling. And then once the two corpora were completed, I used the results of a previous research to measure the texts using the measures and settings that proved to be most effective in clustering 19th century Hungarian literary texts. And I carried out the analysis in Stylo, and well, the results suggest that there is no significant difference between the clustering or between the efficiency of clustering of older and more recent editions, although it's quite interesting that one of the authors, for example, Jókai Mór, so his works were much closer when the second corpus was clustered, the one in which the texts were written according to a uniform orthography. And thank you for the attention.